Hello, hello, hello. I want to welcome you to Leadership Tea Talk with Dr. Dangerfield. If you don't know, if this is your first time seeing my videos, I want to share a little bit about me and then tell you a little bit about 31 days of leadership tea. Well, my name, as I said, is Dr. Lucretia Dangerfield. I am a licensed professional counselor and I am a leadership curator and I am the leadership therapist. You would say therapists who talk about leadership? Yes, I love leadership. I did a whole dissertation about leadership in the counseling profession. So, leadership is my thing, tea is my thing. And it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon where I am. So, I won't be drinking tea during this session, but I want to talk to you about 31 days of leadership tea. And that is something that I am running on my other platforms where I am sharing 31 days of leadership. And I'm talking about my own journey in leadership, but also authentic leadership. So we're going to start with day one was leadership requires authenticity. Sometimes when we talk about leaders, we think about the models, the framework, the things that we follow to become a good leader. And as a woman of color, sometimes it's hard to find a framework that looks like me. Someone that's teaching leadership, someone that is sharing leadership. A lot of times it doesn't look like someone that looks like me because fewer women of color are in what we would call leadership roles and positions in corporate America. But African American women are leading the charge of becoming their own leaders by owning their own businesses. So they become CEOs of their own business. But when I talk about leadership, I'm not really talking about a position. I'm talking about who you are and who you've been called to lead the charge, to develop other leaders. And that may be your children, that may be friends, be people that you mentor, but individuals that follow you because what you have and what you're presenting to the world, they like your message. So, to be an authentic leader, you have to make sure that your values show up and are in alignment with how you present it as a leader. I remember for a long time when I became a leader in positions, I was trying to fit somebody else's model. It wasn't until I learned that I am the leader and people were following me because of the way that I showed up. And so I began to show up fully in who I am and being authentic about my own journey of leadership. And my journey started as a leader when I was young. I was tapped on the shoulder because I became a leader to my cousins. I became a leader in the church. That was my really first leadership position was being over one of the youth programs at church. So I learned how to lead other people, how to hold meetings and different things like that. But my real authentic leadership came when I showed up as a leader, as a counselor, as a therapist because of the work that I was doing, I got to show up as me. I got to do what I needed to do and to show up so people could follow me. Because when I was in my counseling program, a lot of times there was no one that looked like me until I got to do my practicum internship. And I got to meet some awesome leaders, and they helped form the way that I show up in my practice as a clinician, as a therapist. And then it got me into really enjoying clinical supervision and helping to develop other leaders in our profession. So, my message to counselors, anyone that works with me, they know be you and own it. Show up in who you are. So you have to be authentic in who you are, which takes you knowing who you are. The second one is unity. Leadership requires unity. You can't be out here by yourself without community. So you have to have people that invest in your shared vision and your values because you have to be able to have unity. And when I think about unity, I think about my favorite artist, Queen Latifah, when she would say UNITY, and she would talk about unity, coming together as people to show up and do work that changes and transforms community and the world. That's what leadership is about. And it does require unity. You can't be a lone leader because that means if you're as my pastor say, if no one's following you, you're just going out on a walk by yourself. So creating unity, helping people to define their vision and their values, and having a shared common place to come together for transformation. And then the third piece is transparency. Leadership requires transparency. You have to be open and honest about things, even the difficult situations. Now, I'm not talking about going out telling all the business for if you're working in an organization. No, not that, but being transparent about how leading looks. So being open and honest about that journey, because leadership sometimes can be lonely. I'm honest about that, because when you're called to be the visionary and the one that goes out front to start things so other people can follow, sometimes that can be very lonely. But then also there are other opportunities where you have to have difficult conversations with people, and you have to be very transparent in those conversations. Last week, I was working with one of my counselors, and we were talking about a situation where she was gonna have to have a difficult conversation with someone that she supervises. And I told her, I said, just be transparent that this whole situation is difficult, but it's for her good. So being able to have transparent conversations really lead to transformation, because transparency helps you to see through that mud and that muck, but it also helps you get to the other side. So as leaders, you want to be authentic, you want to have unity, and you want to be transparent in the work that you do. I remember also one last story. I remember when I was working for an organization, and some people had to get laid off. People were upset. They were like, "Did no one anybody tell us about why why they got laid off? They just told us that they got laid off." Okay, the organization at the time was not at liberty to share the individual stories of each person, but they were very transparent about the changes within the industry and that things needed to change, and it was going to require some layoffs. So they had the first group, but they were transparent about that there may be some more coming down the pike in the next couple months. People were upset because they told them that, because they were like, now I'm afraid if I'm going to lose my job. So either you wanted us to tell or you didn't want us to tell. Which one did you want us to do? But I believe in transparent leadership. I believe that you have to be open and honest, even if the open and honest will hurt, because after it's all over with, everybody will be in a better place. So remember, be authentic, have unity, and be transparent. And then I will share the rest of the days as we go along. So have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.